Hello everybody, Angelo, Batio. We're going to wait a little bit to make sure everybody gets online. Okay, let's see. Jenny is there. I see her. We're going to do shout outs as usual. Okay, there's a whole bunch of other people. There's Alexis. Hello, Alexis. Roxanne, I know her. Kyle, hey, how are you? Roxana. Hey, Richard, how are you? Renee, it's nice to see you. Let's see who else. I can't see that name, Jezra. Okay. Okay, hey, Denny, how are you? Happy Thanksgiving to you, too. Cynthia is online. We're getting a lot of people already. Fernanda, yes, hello. Okay, we've got a lot of people here. So anyway, happy Thanksgiving to everybody. All right, here's what I'm playing. This is one of the new hybrid series guitars. Now, I'm going to answer a lot of your questions. Hey, Mark, there's a whole bunch of people online here. But one of the things that makes this guitar great, it's something that's never been done. Look at the flames on this guitar. This is called the ES series by Sawtooth. It's a hybrid series. It's called the SW Sawtooth ES Hybrid. Now, this is a natural flame guitar. It also comes in red sparkle. But check this out, man. I mean, I just did the Wang bar of doom. This is the top of the line Floyd on here. So you can really do some stuff. Now, I've got the Overdrive sound. I've got single coil pickups if you want the Strat sound, and I've got dual humbucker, so you get a true Strat and a true humbucker sound. I love these guitars. I'm not just saying this. We have come up with something different. You know, in this world where everybody copies everybody else, if you make McNuggets, somebody's going to come up with chicken tenders. And so... but we have come up with something really different here, and it is amazing. I love these guitars. Now listen to the high end when I do a vibrato on it's 22 frets because we had to put all these pickups in. So if we could have made it 24, we would have, but... I mean, it's just got this singing high end. Now what I'm using is the single coil. And so, but I wanted to show you on an overdrive sound. I've got 2 amp setups here. I've got this little, it's a 25 watt with the coolest reverb I've ever heard on an amp. And then I've got the 20 watt tube combo. So I've got 2 amps, 2 guitars. I'm ready to rock! I feel like playing today, so I'm going to shut up and I'm going to do some stuff. See, it's my show. It ain't Angelo Batio. He's like the head of this thing. Just the head. I'm the star. He's like a talking head. Just a head. I'm the real brains and the hand of this. When anybody needs a hand, I'm here to lend a hand to you. Here we go. That was single coil, and I'm going to switch to humbucker. That's it. Now I'm on the humbucker sound on the bridge position. It's just so great. I was freaking out. You know, when we designed these guitars at Sawtooth, we were trying to do something different. You know, I've done so many different guitar shapes over in my life, and, you know, people say, dude, I want you to like funny guitars again, bro. Been there, done that, dude. I've like done a lot of things in my life, dude. I want to try something else. I kind of wanted to make it full circle. Where I started off playing traditional shapes, I wanted to come back to traditional shapes, but make it 21st century state-of-the-art traditional. And so, because it's very easy to do a rad shape. Rocket guitars, quad guitars, pointy double guitars, been there, done that. It's really hard to make something shape-wise that's not this gigantic leap of faith. Because if you do something out there, people are going to say, bro, I love it. I hate it. I love it. I hate it. I love it. I hate it. I love it. Robert doesn't talk, so he can't say I hate it. But I'm going to say I hate it for him. And so what you have is this, but when you take, and then you still get the pundits. You put out a traditional shape. And people go, I don't like the way it looks, man. Why? Really? I mean, you cannot, I used to make a joke, and this is not a religious thing, but it's like, let's just pretend, for people who don't believe that there is a God, okay? Now, I'm not talking about religion. And he or it puts out a YouTube video, I am the Lord Almighty. You are going to get people that go, dude, that sucks, bro. Listen to that dude's voice. You're going to get 99% that like it. Somebody's going to go, God sucks. And so you can't win. When you're online, the pundits, the negative internet pundits, yes, are going to be there. But we have done something new, brand new. People say, oh, man, it's like Steve Morse. This is not like Steve Morse. I love Steve Morse on guitar. People who know Steve Morse know what I'm talking about. But we have a true Strat. Now look at the flames on this guitar. Look at it, man. They are bad. And so we have a true Strat single coil sound and a true humbucker sound in the most easy to use way to play, plus the top of the line German Floyd Rose, which is why I can do, hopefully it works, the tremolo and the dive bar from World War III. The nuclear bombs are dropping. Air raid siren. Again. Doom. So, this is the real deal, Floyd. Now watch this. Perfect tune. Why? Because it's a really great Floyd Rose. You can't fake this. I can't go. And then go. Listen to that. It's perfectly in tune after World War III. That's why I love this. You have literally the best of both. You have single coils. That's what I'm using. I'm using the neck position single coil. It's so smooth. It's just... And now here is the bridge position. Here's the neck position. It has that beautiful neck position sound that if people know me, that's my style. I love that. It's a great sound. And then you have that humbucker sound. See, you can't do this with a coil tap. You have this beautiful Strat style sound you can A-B it against a Strat. It's a Strat. And you have a humbucker sound, A-B it against the humbucker sound. You have two distinct guitars, and then you have all these awesome combinations. And then, so you can play everything from metal to country. Now, I've got a really metal sound here. I'm using the 20-watt tube. But when I switch, watch. Here's what I'm doing. The top part is single coils, okay? Now, you see the 4 knobs on the bottom and the 2 toggle switches. You have volume, tone on the humbuckers, volume, tone on the single coils. Pickup selector. Now this is 3 pickups. It's a 5-position selector, just like you would have on 3 single coils. This is a 3-position selector, just like you would have on humbuckers. All you have to do is go like this. Single coil, both together, humbuckers. It is so easy to use. I'm a guitarist. I don't like complicated stuff, but but the bottom line is the sound, the playing, and the feel. I'll back up a little bit more. It sounds amazing, and I am the man in black. So I love this color, and it's just, I can't say enough about it. Now, I'm going to switch amps, and I'm going to show you the clean sound of this. Check out this bad boy. Now, I'm using a completely different amp. Here's what you have, the clean Strat. Now, then I use the pickups. Then out of phase, then the Leonard Skinner stuff. And then you have the like, I had to do that Blackmore thing, although I don't play it like that. But so you get this really stratty sound because it is a true stratty sound. That's the secret. It's the real deal. And so then you switch. I am on humbucker on the neck position. Okay, so you get that really sort of, it's just so cool. And then you have the bridge position, humbucker sound. Okay, now I'm going to switch guitars, play a little bit, then I'm going to answer your questions. Now, I cannot say enough about these. I'm going to bring this up close again so you can see this is a natural finish and it's got really cool flames. Now, we also have another version. This is called the ET. Now, what this is it's literally, you have a tele sound. And now I'm going to plug in the Overdrive because, you know, when I demoed these a week ago, people were like, well, dude, man, you didn't, do nothing on the Floyd Rose, bro. I'm just telling you right now, This is a German-made, top-of-the-line Floyd Rose on these guitars. That's why I can just, now again, I've got this thing in massive overdrive. So this is the lipstick pickup. Now listen to this. One of the first things I do when I check out a guitar is just what I just did. I always go. I want to hear how it sings on the top end. That's the first thing I do. Then obviously I check the neck and the feel and all that. If it doesn't sing, I don't want to play it. These guitars sing. And so I mean, really. And then you add, you know, all the things I've been talking about. What we tried to do and we accomplished, we attempted, we didn't know this would even work. We tried to make two true sounds. And so you have a true Telly sound, a true Strat style sound, and a true humbucker sound. And when the prototypes came in, we did it. Now look at this wood. This is called Spalted Maple. And sorry, I have a light there. It's like a round up, but it is just beautiful. Now, there is no color correction here. This is the real deal bad boy. And again, it's so easy to use. See, that's the thing that I really stress, that I don't want complicated things. I want easy to use. I want something that just, I just think about playing. I don't have to think about, okay, we've got 9,000 pickups. It's kind of like a car with like too many things. You know, it's like, how you gonna work this car? You know, what? I'm the one that's gotta drive this car. Shut up, Angelo. See what I mean? This is what I have to deal with on a daily basis. Thank God there's Robert. See, Robert is the voice of calm. Why? Because he's got no voice at all. He will not talk. See what I mean? Robert does not talk. Robert plays. But Joey does enough talking for everybody. So no matter what I do, I've got Joey going, come on, hey, I'm the star of this show. And so now, anyway, I got to tell you guys a story about Joey. And this, one of the things, I've never said I was a role model or a saint, but I'll tell you one thing I'm not, is a liar. I don't lie, because there's a show called Judge Judy. It's great. And she said, you never have to remember the truth. The truth is the truth. So you never have to remember it. See, that's how people get caught up in crimes, because detectives and police will keep asking you over and over and over. And if you've got this story in your head to cover your own butt, sooner or later you're going to slip up because it's not the truth. But, here's people who are, I didn't do it! That's it. And then, if you're in, if you know the truth, it's the truth. Well, here's the truth. I was driving from LA. I lived in Woodland Hills at the time in California, to the Redlands. If anybody knows that, it's straight east, almost 100 miles. So I'm driving and I went down this overpass. Now, a lot of California freeways have this thing. You see a diamond in there. Now, we don't really call it, the LA people don't call it the diamond lane, but it's a carpool lane. So it means if you have two or more passengers, then you can drive on this lane. And I'm looking down there, I'm seeing miles, kilometers of stalled cars, like just not stalled, but stopped. I'm like, this sucks. And I was wearing this kind of like Greek fisherman's hat, kind of like an old Ringo Starr hat. If people have seen me in photos before, I used to like to wear this really crazy looking hat. So I was wearing a hat and I go, Joey, are you ready? He goes, I'm ready. And so I put the hat on Joey and I'm driving like this and we go into the carpool lane. I'm like, so we turn and I got Joey looking around and we're driving and I'm passing up car after car, like hundreds of cars, because nobody was on. People actually used to obey the laws back then. And so, except for me, of course. But anyway, so I'm driving in the carpool lane, and all of a sudden at the end, there's a policeman, and he goes, pull over. And so here's Joey with a hat on and me. So I roll down my window, I look, and there's Joey. We're both looking at him. And we're both like, what? Can I help you, officer? He goes, what's that? I go, well, that's Joey. He goes, what? I go, that's Joey. And Joey looks at me and he starts laughing and he goes, get the hell out of here. So that's my Joey story. So Joey has actually saved me a couple of times. But anyway, back to the guitars. I had to say that because I'm in a good mood. Thanksgiving is about being thankful for what you have. You know, it's very easy for people to worry about what they don't have. And if all these years on this planet, Steve Vai said a great thing. You know, he goes about technique. He goes, don't worry what you don't have. Focus on what you have. And I thought that was a great thing. I mean, can Steve Vai, he even admitted he couldn't play my double guitar like I can. And so, but I admire that, and I totally subscribe to his school of thought on this. But with this guitar, you got everything, so you don't got to worry about nothing. Anyway, telly sound, lipstick pickup, middle. You just got all these great sounds. And it screams. I love it. If you want to use the one, I don't feel like World War III on this guitar. And then you've got this great humbucker sound. And so okay, so I think I've described these enough, but we really, you know, I've been a designer for a long time, and I've designed some really innovative guitars. I have patents, trademarks, all sorts of things. And so, you know, I probably could have been an engineer or an attorney if I so desired, but I just love music so much. Listen. Telly's a... And then... It's got that... Or... got that twang, like a telly should have, that telly sound. And listen how beautifully in tune it is. Even after I've wanged out on it, then now I'm on humbucker side. And then the neck position. All right, now enough of this. I love it. Now let's answer some questions. How fast? Okay, I'm thankful for my family and health. And MAB, thank you. Yeah, castles made of sand. Yeah, I did my own kind of interpretation of it. Okay, now at this point in the show, I've done the shout outs, I've talked about the guitars. It's a real Floyd, guys and girls. This is the real deal guitar. It's not I'm not goofing around. I never have in my entire career. Also, I want to say this, that Facebook prohibits me now from playing songs and doing anything related to a concert. So that's why you haven't seen me play full songs here for a while. We used to do this. We used to do clinics online. But if you want to go to my YouTube channel, you can see a lot of playthroughs. Also, my Metal Method speed kills, my instructional programs are, I'm just going to say it, they will help you. Speed kills works. I'm still here. I've been around a long time. You know, rock and roll, I think, keeps you young, but I practice what I preach. It's not like, you know, people saying to do one thing and then they do another, but to, you know, do as I say, not as I do. I do as I say. And I'm, you know, if you want to, you can do as I do. It's up to you. I'm not forcing anybody to do anything. But I can tell you this, I am living proof. Joey's pretty active here, you know. All the fingers are working, the wrists, everything feels great. And it's because the things that I talked about and taught in my instructional programs are life lessons that help me be a better guitarist. So it can help you. Metalmethod.com, speed kills works. And they're also great Christmas presents. Okay, now, one last thing too. I want to thank Steve Burry from Hell Creek Music and More. They came up with an alternative design to one of my M24 signature series. It's the ST M24 in flat black. Now, have you noticed we started something here? You know, everybody's doing graphics and all this crazy stuff. We did a guitar that's just a flat matted black. And all of a sudden, all these companies are coming out with this color. Why? Again, I don't go by the flavor of the month. I don't care what other people are doing. I care about what I'm doing. And that doesn't mean I don't watch and listen and learn. Okay, but I'm not one that's been a copier. I'm an innovator, not an emulator. And people have emulated me. I mean, there's Mikey disciples all over the planet. They dress like me. They do all the over-under, you know. But it's me. And it's not because I'm trying to be different. I've just been like this my whole life. I've always done the research, and I've always worked and learned, and I keep up with my craft. We did something different in this really cool matted black. All of a sudden, all these other companies are doing matted black finishes right now. Why? Because it's cool and it's different. You know, when you know, it's easy. Like I've said it 1,000 times. I'm going to say it 1,000 more. It's so easy to pay a ton of money to get a good guitar. It's so easy to do that. You just find somebody who's good and pay them. You know, it's kind of like if you want the best person to paint your house, you got to pay for it. You know, and the best person to do anything. So it's easy to pay a lot of money for something good. It's not easy to pay a very reasonable amount of money and get something really good. And that's what we offer at Sawtooth. I just love the company. But anyway, Steve Burry at Hell Creek Music and More did one of the flat black guitars, one of my signature series, and he used gold hardware. Now, I don't have one here because they're all in California, and I was there signing some, but the whole shipment is in, and you can find it online. Just go to Hell Creek Music and More. If you go to sawtoothworld.com and you want to order that guitar, they're going to be there. So let's see some questions here. Okay, that's because I'm ahead of the curve. I like to think so, but it takes work to be ahead of the curve. You know, I mean, nobody gave this to me. Nobody said, Michelangelo Batio, you're like so wonderful, dude. We're just going to give you stuff. That didn't happen in my life, okay? You have to earn it. You do. You know, if you get given things, how many people appreciate a lot of things are given? You know, it's like, it's that forbidden fruit, the thing that you want, but you can't get and you aspire to. See, Joey's pretty tough. And so the point is, you work for it. And I work for it, and I continuously work for it. Okay, hello from Sweden. Okay, let's see some questions. Now, I've been talking for a while, but I love to talk, as you know. Get my lessons at metalmethod.com if you want completely in-depth lessons. Okay, proud to say, Okay. Oh, great, great. You got one of the black Sawtooths. Okay. How long did it take to build strength in my fingers for the double neck? That's a great question. You know, one of the things that you can do when you're playing is, you know, you do legato exercises. Now I'm going to switch to my Overdrive amp here. I had to switch them up today. You can see other demos of me using the same amps. Sawtooth amps are great. I'm using Sawtooth amps. But I'll show you. What? So what I do is I'm just goofing around, but I practice dexterity. And so I did the same thing on my left hand. I just literally practiced the right-handed brain. Well, actually, it's the reverse. The left-handed side of my brain worked on the right-handed side to teach it. Now, it's a really weird thing, you know, when you're your own teacher. But I applied the principles I did in Metal Method, and that's how I came up with it. I did a really great Shred Wars with Jared Dines. And, you know, his tempo, I didn't get an exact BPM. He gave me actually an MP3, which I thought was kind of weird, you know, because normally you get a WAV file. But he didn't show what he was going to, but I love Jared. I mean, he's great. But what it led me to believe was when I got this MP3 from him for Shred Wars, it had my solo sections, but not his. And I'm like, what's he going to do? This guy's got like an 18 or 19 string. He's got more strings than my doubles, even with 7 strings. And so I said, I don't know what he's going to do. I have no idea. But then the tempo came in, and I timed it around the 190. You know, let's see. You know, that's maybe around 190, 195, somewhere around there. And so, you know, like, for example. You know, it's kind of like. So I said, okay, now 190 for anybody, any kind of shred guitar is not that fast. Okay, so, you know, if I go. You know, so I thought, okay, so what I did is I said, on the first part of it, I said, I'm not going to even concern myself with the time signature. I mean, not time signature, the tempo, because the time signature was in 4/4. So I said, some people are not going to like this, but I just played way faster than the tempo because I don't want to be locked into. And so that's how, when you first saw the first segment of the Shred Wars with Jared, Jared's great. I really like him as a person. I like him, what he does, and I admire and respect him. He's great. But I said to myself, I didn't know what he was going to do. And so, you know, after that, I used my double guitar and I played everything to the chord progression. It was a simple progression. It was, you could have taken a Dorian, and it was like a 1/4, and 4 could have been Dorian or natural minor. And then the second half of it was, I think it was a flat at 6. So, you know, it was pretty much natural minor. So, you know, but I didn't even care about that. That's easy to do, you know. I mean, you know, that's not hard stuff. And so, but what I did was I just made it way out there, way out there, way out there, very far away from normal. And I enjoyed it. And, you know, people are like, dude, man, it sounds like got a key. I just didn't care what key it was in. So that was it. Okay, anyway, okay, please react To what? Okay, the hybrid on the Wolfgang body contour. Okay, the questions are flying by so fast. How are you with the downstroke playing style and technique? You know, people ask about it. You know, I like that. I like that. But, you know, people, when I did this, you know, there are people. I just don't subscribe to that theory. You know, I like, if you want downstrokes for a sound, I get it. But if you can do something with alternate picking that makes your life a lot easier, you can play it super fast and sonically, if James Hetfield, maybe you could hear like 5% difference. So do I like the downstroke sound and technique? Yes, I love it. You know, especially in the old days when because you can't get that sound by going. You need it. But, you know, do I use it when I play fast passages? No. Because I prefer alternate picking to it, because it's just more my style, you know, because that's what I ask myself, like, how do I best represent me? And alternate picking is much easier for me to do when I'm playing something fast. There's other people who can downstroke like a maniac. If that's their sound and that's their style, I think it's amazing. It just depends what you want to do, but I love it. Okay, any other questions before I haven't answered too many here because I just love it. Okay, the fret kicks, yeah. Okay, yeah, it kicks ass on the downstroking. Yeah, it's cool. Great sound, thank you. Any other people asking here? Okay, let me say another thing about Sawtooth. I'm going to switch to the clean amp here. Now, I'm going to show you. Now, also, too, I'm a tuning fanatic. And so I've been, you know, really beating these guitars up. I'm looking at my tuner now on my pedal board. See, now, here's what we have. These are single coil. So, you know, I do Charlie Christian. You've heard this riff if you know it. So I'm using the lipstick pickup. And so now here's one of the things that's really important with these guitars. When you get a guitar like this, one of my hybrids, everything is authentic. Single coil pickups are not as loud as humbuckers. So when you hear a volume discrepancy when you plug in, that's normal. See, we could have changed this. Single coil pickups are here on the volume level, humbuckers are here. We could have done this, or we could have done that. If we did this, we would have ruined the sound of both. It was a compromise. So here's what I'm using. I'm using a tiny bit of compression. When I was in LA demoing these guitars last week, what was it? It wasn't a Boss. I can't even remember what it was. It was another compressor pedal. Here I'm using one of my old Boss compressors. It's not even really the best one on the market. I just plugged it in. But see, all you need is a tiny bit of compression and it evens out. Watch. Here is the lipstick pickup on the Telly side. The Telly sounds. So those are the three sounds of the Telly. Now I'm going to switch to the humbucker. So just a tiny bit of compression will raise the Telly sound, lower the humbucker sound, and give you the perfect sounds of both. Okay, so I wanted to make this authentic. See, I can record a record with this guitar. I can record an album with this because both sounds are authentic. If you use coil taps, if you mess with pickup, like it's called an ohm rating. Like the average humbucker in the fronts could be 12K, it could be as low as 8K. And then the back end could be as high as 22 or 23, 15, 12. But on single coils, it's much less. Because, and that's what a humbucker is. They added the two because one is, not only is it has a certain sound, but it also has more hum. When you put two together, it canceled the hum out. That's why they're called humbuckers. Like it kind of bucks the sound away from the single coil and makes it. But when you listen to this, like in extreme overdrive, you'll hear what I'm talking about. But these are really great guitars. I just love them. And these are going to be my go-to guitars when I'm on tour. Okay, happy Thanksgiving to everybody else. Hey, Jeff. Okay, lastly, that's what makes sense, a tiny bit of compression. Yeah, because we're not, why should I lie to you? Why should I tell everybody, oh, this guitar's amazing, and then all of a sudden you get it like, hey, you like the single coil, bro, and it's like the humbucker, dude. Now, when you have distortion is a natural compression. I'm going to plug in the distortion sound, and people who are very familiar with amps know this. There is only one thing in the signal chain, a little bit of delay. That's all I use. Now watch. This is the single coil sound. Humbucker sound. So you can see there's no volume change. Distortion is its own compression. And so I'm not using any tricks, nothing. And so, but we have to tell you that because that's what keeps it a true sound. Because people can always go, dude, like, man, I got like humbuckers, bro. And I did like a coil tap. And what a coil tap means is you take a two single coil. These are humbuckers. You tap it. A coil tap means you tap one of these coils. That's a push-pull. And it eliminates. Sorry, I had to do that. Joey, why did you do that? Listen, I know it's PG-13, but sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. What can I say? Okay, so anyway, I'm going to do this so he doesn't do this again. When you do a coil tap, you've got a humbucker pickup, that's two coils. Coil tap eliminates one. Problem is, it doesn't sound like single coil. It sounds something different. It's like a simulation. Now, do you want a girlfriend or a real girlfriend? If you're a girl, do you want a boyfriend or a simulation? Maybe a simulation won't give you as much grief. But I'm just kidding. But the point is, single coils, these sound like the real deal. And that's the point. Okay, which style pickup do you prefer to write on perform live, single or humbucker? That's a great question because very early, before I was famous, I used to use a combination of two. Like I started off on Fender style guitars. I had a Fender Mustang. People that know me know I have a huge guitar collection. And I had an old Fender Mustang that is actually a beginner guitar. It was meant for teaching. And it's got single coil pickups and all these cool sounds. I loved it. I felt very comfortable on that single coil sound. But when I was introduced to the humbuckers, I said, that's more me. It's more rockin'. It has that neck pickup sound that I just... Just that really round tone. So I used, in most of my professional career, humbuckers. But that's not what I started on. And that's the beauty of being with Sawtooth because... I was able, like I said, for my career, this is full circle for me. I'm going back to the beginning and using my knowledge and using Sawtooth's vast engineering and also manufacturing knowledge to create shapes and things that I loved as a kid growing up, but with 21st century innovations. And so this is like a whole new thing, and again, anybody can do a pointy guitar, anybody can do one of these, but you can't do a hybrid guitar and make it work like this because there's all these people that say, well, what about like the magnetic fields between like the two pickups, man. Now I got to use my Spicoli voice when I do that. It's like, hey, bro, like I just smoked a couple bonglets, dude. I'm like really flying, bro. Like we're in Denver right now. It's like a mile high, but I think I'm way higher than a mile, dude. It's like, man, this buzz really good stuff, man. But like I look at these pickups and I'm like, dude, like you're gonna get like you're gonna get like weird stuff going on between the two. That's an excellent question. But guess what? We thought about that and we made it try. We tried it. It works. This works. You don't need 2 input jacks. You just need 2 hands, and you don't even need to. I've seen people play with 1 hand online. All you need is just some kind of, you need the knowledge. You know, I have an old saying that you can't think outside the box unless you know what's in the box. Well, I know what's in the box. And so it's enabled me my whole life, and I keep studying to keep finding out what's in that box. And so we're able to get outside the box and to work on things. If this didn't work, I wouldn't be talking about it right now. It works, and it's different. It's different than every single guitar company on planet Earth. And so nobody's doing this. And that's what I want. And then we have a limited edition double guitar coming out just like that. And I wanted to use traditional shapes. I'm known for the pointy guitars with my double, and I've always done that. We're not saying in the future we're not going to do something like that, but you have an opportunity to get one of 50 double guitars like this. And everything Sawtooth does is at a price better than everybody else. And we know manufacturing better. We have no engineering. I'm a real world guitar player. After 58 countries and thousands of shows, I know a little bit, and doing clinics, playing thousands of different guitars all the time. I'm one of the best people on planet Earth to talk about this because I've lived it. You know, it's one thing about people yakking about stuff. See, I made Joey shut up. I'm like, Joey, see, I won't let him talk right now. He's really mad. He's like, I'm going to get you later. See, Joey? I actually do have control. He wants to say, see, what he wants to say is he's the star of the show, but he also wants to say he kind of agrees with me. See, Robert's like really happy right now, but you never know. You know why? Robert just holds a pick. That's all Robert does. He's silent. He is the meanest hand on planet Earth. You would never know. He attacks strings like he's going to kill those strings every time. When he looks at a string, he says, I own you. You're my you-know-what, and I'm going to attack you and kill you. That's the way Robert works, but he's so silent and mellow. You just look at him. He's kind of like, think of Jackie Chan. Think of Bruce Lee. He's quiet, but he will kill you. That's Robert. Joey, on the other hand, is a big mouth. He's like, hey, but I won't let him talk. But I can say this. When it comes to the techniques, when it comes to designing guitars, you know, I don't do this stuff lightly. I didn't, sign with Sawtooth lightly. People who, why are you going here? Why didn't you go there, there, there? A lot of people could have gone there, there, there. I could have gone there, there, there. I don't want to do what everybody else does. It's not like I respect any guitar player, any person that's out doing what they want to do. You know me, I don't flame anybody. I don't talk politics, religion, nothing. But I want to do what I want to do, and I don't sacrifice anything. But I want to come up with new things. And it was really intriguing to me and personally satisfying to me to go back full circle to when I was a kid. What did I like when I was 13 and 14 and 15 and 16 and 18 and 19? What did I like? And then bring 21st century technology to things that I've had a whole lifetime to think about, and not only think about, but to actually use in real life applications. Okay, so lastly, Sawtooth has a new app that's coming out. Now here's the beauty of this. I'm going to play a little more. I've been on a dock and kick lately. Single coil. Now I'm going to switch the humbucker and play the same thing. difference? It's thick. The single coils have the brightness of single coils, and the humbuckers have this thickness. But here's the cool thing. You can combine it to over 24 unique sounds. So I'm going to put a humbucker. So listen, single coil on overdrive. Humbucker on overdrive. Hear that roundness and more rich sound of the humbucker, but it doesn't get the bite of the single coil. You can add it together. Now I've got them both together. So I've got the twang of the single coil and the thickness of the humbucker. I just love it. I mean, it's the real deal. That's the thing that I love. It's a real thing. We didn't even know if it would work. We had no idea that it would work. We thought it would. You know, we thought about the engineering. I mean, you know, I am a pretty sharp guy, and the people at Sawtooth are amazing. So we thought it would work, but we didn't know these work. These are production models. They are in stock. Now, with the app, if you get the app, Sawtooth is part of 3 companies. Sawtooth Guitars, basses, amps, drums, keyboards. ChromaCast, musical accessories. Retail, Go DPS Music. It's 3 companies. 2 plus 2 is metal 4, minus metal 1 is 3. And so when you look for this, this is all under one big, huge, huge umbrella. And so it's the Go DPS Music app. You can sign up for this. You get 3 months free. 2 plus 2 is metal 4 minus 1. After that, it's only 99 cents a month. But the thing with the app, if you order any musical instrument, anything from Sawtooth or ChromaCast, you get 20% off just by using the app. Now, one last thing, too, before I leave tonight, is that if you get one of the signature guitars or one of the Sawtooth instruments, they offer a free gift with this. So if you order it, you get a free gift. So I can't say enough about the company. I mean, I know that I sound like a talking head for this, but I just really enjoy it. I mean, I'm doing what I love to do. And if you want to see my lessons, go to metalmethod.com. The Sawtooth app, we're releasing 2 concerts. One with my new band called the MAB Band, and 2 with me playing with Vinny Appice on drums, Rudy Sarzo on bass, and a great young singer named Melody Christia from the band Liliac. And we're doing all the hits, man. We're doing like, you know what. So anyway, you get the idea. I play a lot of music. I'm not allowed to right now on Facebook, but we do a lot on this app. There's 2 full concerts, one with the MAB Band, one with me playing with Rudy Sarzo, Vinny Appice, and Melody Christia from the band Liliac. She's an amazing singer. We all know Rudy Sarzo and Vinny Appice. We played all the great songs from all of us, and I even added one of mine in there. Call to arms! Call to arms! So we added a lot of stuff. Anyway, I'd like to say this. Thanksgiving, it's great for some people. It's not great for others. When I was a boy, I had huge Thanksgivings. I have a big family on my mother's side. I don't really know a lot of my father's side relatives, and the ones I do know, don't want to know that much. I was never close to my dad's side of the family. I don't know a lot of them, but I grew up with my mom's side, and I was super close to them, and I have great first cousins and aunts and uncles, and we used to have these monster Thanksgiving dinners every year. I can picture it as a boy, a dog running around, and all my cousins, and me and my sister, and my parents, and my mom's brother and his wife, Auntie Pat, and it just goes on and on and on. Well, I don't have that anymore, and this is the first time in my entire life I've actually been alone. For the first time in my life, I've not been able to have anybody over. I had some family things, I've lost a lot of my family. When you get older, that happens. And I'm not trying to elicit sympathy in any way, but this has been a time, this Thanksgiving, where I'm sitting in my house looking at all these guitars and all these things. I've been very fortunate. I've done very well in music, but nobody's given me stuff. Yeah, I can get guitars and all that, but that's something I've earned. I've earned the right to get equipment. Nobody gave me that right. And nobody said, oh, Michael, when I was 15 years old, oh, you're so wonderful, we're just going to give you stuff. You have to earn it and earn it every day, at least in my world. And, so I'm sitting here in my house alone, and I'm thinking that I'm grateful. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful that I have this opportunity. When everybody has problems. And I've said this a lot, but I'll say it to my dying day. I don't know. I can never say to you, I know how you feel. How do I know how you feel? How do I know how you feel? I'm not you, and you're not me. So how do you know how I really feel? All we can do is have similar circumstances, similar things happen to us, possibly, and empathize. And so, yes, I have empathy for a lot of people, but I would never tell anybody, oh, I know how you feel, bro. I don't know how you feel. But I can tell you this, a lot of people have had it tough this year. Other people have had it really great. What I do is I do the Steve Vai idea. I look around me, I'm sitting in my house alone for the first time in my entire life. I don't have my parents. I don't have my younger sister. I don't have a lot of things. People have taken things, life has taken things, not people. Life has taken things away from me just because I'm older. But I look and I say, man, I had great parents. I had a great sister. I have great things. I have great things to look forward to. I have great things today. So when times, sometimes don't look as good, you just have to ask yourself, what do you have? Not what you don't have. What do you have? And that's the meaning of this. When everybody's trying to design the weirdest looking guitar, the pointiest guitar on planet Earth, we just tried to do things that were different, and it worked. And that's the thing that keeps me going. I want to be the best that I can be all the time, and never be one to say, oh, back in the old days, it was so much better. Well, there were things about the old days that are better, but there are things about today and tomorrow that are a lot better too. And so don't look at what you don't have, look at what you have. I'm Angelo Batio for Sawtooth Guitars, Sawtooth Amps, ChromaCast Music Products, and Go DPS Music. Go get the Go DPS app, 20% off. If you buy one of any guitars from Sawtooth, not just my signatures, get a free gift. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. I'm Angelo Batio. I'm Joey. That's Robert. See ya.